Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. This is IAllegedly. I've got a good one for you today because I am at the Laguna Niguel Botanical Gardens and they opened a bunch of new sections up here. So it's going to be really cool. We're going to get to see some different things that we haven't seen before. I'm going to cover the fact that the real estate market here in the United States is basically a dead man walking, and it's just a matter of time until real estate just absolutely crumbles and gets put out of its misery. Okay, let's put it that way. There is a lot to cover. I'm going to also cover things like banking. There's just more and more banking news that just keeps coming out. And before I get into it, please take a second. Please hit the like button on the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, I've got a Patreon channel that you can get more access to me. And also we've got the email list, and emails are coming out basically the end of this week. We got another one. But check this out, guys. Like these walkways and stuff. This is really cool up here. This is got all these different garden areas, and it's free, and you can walk up here, but just a really cool area. But this area up here has always been closed. Every time I've come up here, never been able to go up here. So we'll see if I make it, okay? Now, as far as the real estate market is concerned, you know, the problem is there's no shortage of homes. There are a shortage of sellers right now. And what you're seeing is that sellers are absolutely running this market. We're seeing that they are selling things higher than they ever have, and new home construction is outpacing the population right now. Here's what's crazy. New home construction, when you talk about this and you look at the numbers that they have, you have houses that basically they're talking about being built and they haven't even broken ground on those yet. I've had people write me, man, do I get winded doing this. People write me talking about different sites like in Kansas where they have 300 homes, where they've got half a dozen homes done, 6 homes done, and the rest are already sold. So absolutely crazy that we're seeing things like this. The big problem with overbuilding is that it's going to wreak havoc on the industry, mixed with one thing, and that is higher interest rates. The problem that we had in 2008, which we'll mention a couple times here, is not the same thing as now, because back then we had 40% of the houses had adjustable rate mortgages with incredibly low teaser rates. They did make it more difficult to get a mortgage. You had to basically qualify for the mortgage this time and have an income and have a massive down payment and things like that. But higher interest rates are going to be the big problem for this industry. The next thing is 95% of all the realtors that have been surveyed since January have said that they have more buyers than they have sellers right now. And that's a huge problem. As of February 2022, 57% of the houses across the United States sold in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, guys. The average house, median house, simple. Nothing, no frills, no beach house, no nothing. Had a 15% increase last year. It had a 30% increase in the last 2 years. And this is something that's unsustainable. And we've never seen increases like this since 2005, 2006, and 2007. This place is absolutely beautiful. I have not been up here since Thanksgiving time. And now that it's spring, you got a lot more things open, places to walk around, the gazebos, people up here filming, taking pictures. Just really a cool place. Now, think about this stat, because it's crazy. We have people right now that are making more money from the appreciation of their homes than they did at their jobs. And the last time we saw this was 2007. So again, everybody thinks that 2008 was the magic date where everything dropped and everything fell. That was the beginning of the collapse, guys. That's when the banking problem started and everything fell apart. And the teaser rates for those loans, those adjustable loans that people bought those houses and got $1 million loans and had a $2,500 payment on that, adjusted to where they should have been. And that's when all hell broke loose. That's going to happen again. Now, real estate expert gave a great analogy of the ponderosa pines and how ponderosa pines can grow to 100 feet. And there is a bark beetle that's 1/4 of an inch. And this bark beetle can go in and it can infect these trees, these 100-foot tall trees, And within a short period of time, basically a year, it can completely destroy it to where it basically doesn't get the nutrients, doesn't get the sugars in the tree, and it absolutely dies. But the experts look at this and they can look at these trees, and the trees may still be green for a year, but they know that the trees are dead. And that's what they're looking at the real estate market in our country as, something that's totally dead. Because here's the thing, I'm gonna tell people all these stats and all these things I put together from this video, and they're still gonna say, I'm gonna buy a house. I had people today write me and say, hey, you know, my house is paid for, I wanna buy something. And I'm like, what is the hurry? Unless you have a tax problem or there's something that people, the fear of missing out right now with this real estate market with low interest rates is absolutely crazy. But those ponderosa pines, after 2 years, then they turn brown, then they die. And I had that happen. I owned a piece of property once and had that happen on a tree, bought the house all green, and then it went and died quickly. Now here's some national stats that you can't argue with, in that the average rent across the country in the last year is up 16% for the average rent. But for single family houses, they're up over 35% in the last year. That is crazy, guys, when you think about these numbers. And when you think about houses and the offers that they've had, you know, 65% of the houses that were sold in February of 2022 had multiple offers. That is still insane, guys, that people are doing this. And again, it's the fear of missing out. And people, oh, Dan, low interest rate, it's what we want. You're never going to see things like this again. And again, economics 101, guys. If you guys are not, you know, doing a financial assessment in your entire life, you got to look at this. People go out and they have massive credit card debt right now around the world. And they don't want to accept the fact that they shouldn't spend like this. You shouldn't buy anything right now that you don't need. And you need to cut back on your spending. But they're going to go out and refinance a house and take out hundreds of thousands of dollars in some of these cases to pay bills off and things like that. And again, you know, just put it back on the credit cards and keep the credit cards open. Now, you can hear the arguments of, should I close the credit card, should I not? That's your call. But again, what will that house rent for? If you had to move out of that house, would the house rent for the payment? A lot of people, they're saying no right now, and that is a massive problem right now. There's a lot of stats and a lot of figures that I've got here, and I love getting underneath these things because of the echo. But we have a lot of houses that are available. We do not have a housing shortage here in the United States. It just is not the case. The peak, though, was in 2008 when we had the lowest number of houses available per capita, per person here in the United States. Now, we also have a problem that we have more houses that are considered under construction than ever before. So when you have that, you know, it's like the car industry. You know, the car industry is a scam. When they ship a car to a dealership, they consider that car sold. We have things like Toyota of Orange, that Toyota of Orange in Orange, California, bought the bowling alley across the street, Regal Lanes, so that they could park cars there and say that these cars were sold. And it was crazy. They would line it with probably 500 cars. And again, when you drive by there now, they don't have the cars there. It's not even anything like that. But this is similar to the housing market right now. You know, people are grading land and getting stage payments for grading land and talking about the houses under construction and getting people under contract to buy these homes when the houses may never get done. The problem with the big builders right now is that they are seeing massive problems, huge problems with completing houses right now with the supply chain shortage. And again, the supply chain shortage, something that's not talked about right now, and it's no big deal, Dan. It's handling itself. No, it's not. You know, you got to look at Lennar. Lennar went from the last quarter to this quarter and added 5,000 homes. 5,000 more homes were added to its list, from 22,000 to 27,000 homes that were incomplete as they entered this new quarter. Well, that's only going to get worse, guys, right now. You're going to see this escalate and get bigger. This place is cool. These walkways, all this stuff. Very few people up here. It's just really nice, really peaceful. Great place to walk. We've seen a bunch of dogs up here, so you can bring your dog up here too, which is very cool. One thing that's very cool about this place is you've got all this different vegetation and different plants and flowers and things like that. Everything's marked, which is really cool. So you can sit there and see what things are if you like it. It's just really cool. Now, a couple other things. Real estate loans, mortgages. In November, they were 3%. Well, it's easy money, it's cheap money, it's good money, you know, let's go overpay for something. Well, now as they approach 5%, not so much. It's a real problem. 35% of all home purchases in January and February of this year were from investors. People that they're considered an investor. Now, it could be a second house, but 35% of those homes were done by investors. And, you know, you can sit there and say, oh, it's BlackRock, it's all the investment, big banks. No, those only accounted for 2% of all the records that I could find. 2%, guys. So, yeah, you've got the Zillows and things like that sold their house in the Redfin and all those other idiots. But you're going to see that that's not the case. It hasn't been the big driver yet for all these houses. Now think about these stats. There are 1.6 million houses under construction right now. That's a lot, okay? And they're in various stages. There are, you know, everything from graded land to, you know, the roofs on to putting appliances in, every actual stage of these houses. The problem with it is our population is going to decline by 600,000 people right now. So there's going to be overbuilding when you look at this. And again, in 2005, 6, and 7, we had 40% of the mortgages that were adjustable, and now they're approaching 12% right now. And again, from the numbers I found last week, they're up 2%. So they're 12%, and that's going to create a problem. But the biggest problem is the affordability of mortgages. If mortgages go to 6.5%, it's going to exclude almost 40% of the population from buying a home for the median price. That's crazy. Now, gotta get a house, gotta get a house, gotta get a house. The average rent, the average mortgage payment right now for a median house is $2,350, which seems incredibly cheap because where I live and in Orange County and condos and what people are paying for right now is absolute lunacy, where you're seeing $8,000, $9,000 mortgages on houses for things that rent, because that's the one thing I always do. If I ever hear somebody buys a house, I always go look at what the rents are in their neighborhood, and am shocked when, oh, that rent's for $3,000. These people are doomed, okay? And you're going to see more and more of that. So again, really beautiful vegetation up here, really cool place to walk, just a great hike. A lot of people up here with dogs right now. And they've got the soccer fields below, and they're having a big party down there. Got food trucks and things like that have pulled up, and ice cream and things like that. But this is just really, really nice when you see stuff like this. And again, great place to be alone. That's the one thing. And I got that simple mobile internet. That thing is the coolest thing ever, where I can go out and I can, you know, have internet up here if I need it, and I can bring the laptop. So one other thing I want to talk to you about is, you know, we've got the fundraiser on April 11th with the Angels playing the Florida Marlins, and it's supporting Joseph Dreamhouse. I spoke with Fran Glover today, and I love Fran, okay? Because this woman is feeding hungry people, and there is a real problem with hunger in this country, guys. If any of you, think about this. You don't want to go to a baseball game? Great, okay? I don't care, okay? We're going to sell out. There's going to be a big party. We're all going to get together, and it's going to be fun. Now, let's say you don't want to go to a baseball game. You can buy a ticket for $55. We'll donate it. We've got a bunch of charities that have reached out that said, hey, donate it here. So we're going to do that. But here's the thing. If you work for a grocer, if you work for a food distribution company, if you work for anything that could help Joseph Dreamhouse, this is a charity that is feeding hungry children, hungry people, putting together nutritious meals. That's what Fran does. Please reach out to, to my email, which is IAllegedly@gmail.com, and I will get you in touch with Fran. But put your thinking cap on. You got a relative, you got a cousin, you got anybody you can think of that could potentially help, because the problem with it is that with the potential for food shortages right now, this is scary, because Fran's getting her normal donations right now. And she talked about this, even from the government, where they would give her meat. Now they're giving her lentils, they're giving her beans and things like that. Yes, it's protein, guys, and I understand the vegans out there are going to say it's nutritious, it's great, fantastic, guys, but the writing's on the wall that there's going to be a food shortage, and these people need any help you can get. check this out. This is really cool. So if you know of anybody or can think about that, it would be a great help. And if you want to join us at the game, or you want to just donate the $55 to get the ticket, it's $55 minus the credit card fees. And we've raised thousands of dollars already for this, and it's going to be an awesome night, and it's going to be fun. So let's get back into it. The warning signs are everywhere up here, and you've got to take these seriously. Like, I just saw a sign that said no rattlesnakes, but here's another one for you guys. You got to take these seriously. So I just do what I can to share this with you guys. I'm going to close this section on real estate out with this. Clearly people are panicking to get in. By the way, that's a cork tree, which you don't get to see every day. People are clearly panicking to get in the real estate market. But one thing that I found is, you know, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, a chart is worth 1,000 pictures. And I found some great charts about housing prices in 20 different metropolitan areas that are in the video description below, which are insane right now. Now, as far as the world that we live in, around the globe, one thing that we're seeing is a huge problem with diesel fuel still. That is such a problem that Germany is talking about rationing gasoline and diesel fuel right now. And they feel that they're being held hostage right now by Russia. So is that the case? Is it not the case? But again, this is going to affect each and every one of us. I spoke to an expert today on this, and he was like, yeah, Dan, this is coming here. And people need to understand this, that everything's delivered via diesel trucks. Now, here's the thing. We've talked a lot about banking lately. Let's talk about banking again. Now, what we've just seen is a bank called Seacoast. Seacoast has just purchased a bank called Apollo. Now, you're probably thinking, who's that? Who's Apollo? Who's Seacoast? Well, if you're in Florida, you know who these people are. And the thing about this bank merger, Seacoast has bought in 7 banks over the last 5 years and merged with them and taken them over. And that's what's going to happen. It's going to be less branches. It's going to be less customer service for you and I. And as far as the big banks are concerned, think about this one, about what I'm going to tell you. The big banks are going to put shareholder votes to their shareholders. If you own shares of Citibank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all those places, they're going to put a shareholder vote together right now on climate change. And I'm like, what? Okay, well, you know, what do you mean? Well, they want to vote to see if they want to limit lending for certain things that people are doing that affects the climate. Guys, well, why not affect somebody's religious picks? Why not do that? Why not affect, you know, I don't like the Yankees. So if you're a Yankee fan, I'm not giving you a loan. This is getting crazy, guys, okay? It's absolutely nuts. So you're going to see this with shareholder votes coming up with climate change votes, okay? There's that. Now, here's the one thing, the big tech companies, Facebook, Google, Amazon, Apple, all these places, Meta is Facebook, by the way, okay? Somebody keeps correcting me about that. Anyways, they want to dabble in the banking business. So we talked about this yesterday, about how they're going to do this. Well, it's just a matter of time until you don't have a traditional bank and it's all online. You're going to open up your Facebook page and your bank's going to be there. You can call me crazy all you want, but think about this. Facebook bought Meta Bank. They bought the name Meta Bank. Why? Why would you buy the name? It wasn't a lawsuit. It wasn't, hey, that's our name. Meta Bank was already open. They purchased the name so they can have Meta Bank. So, you know, let's go to Facebook Bank, guys. Okay. Hi, Mark. I'd like to make a deposit today. Okay. Imagine that guy working at your branch. I'm sorry, I'm going to limit the cash you take out of the account. Yeah. Okay. Again, guys, they're going to do this. You're going to see more and more banking regulations and more people get into the banking business than ever before, that we really don't want to have this. But what this does is it strips away your customer service. It strips away everything. Now, I get people that write me and go, hey, I don't even go into the bank. I do everything online. Good for you. Good for you. What about Denise, that was the car buyer that buys classic cars? And the only way to do it, now think about this, driving down the street and sees an old El Camino that she wants to restore, it's sitting in front of some guy's house. Okay, well, hey, can I send you a payment? No, okay? Cash on the hood, guys. So she goes to her bank and they limit her to $3,000. That's happening and coming to a theater near you, okay? Well, what do you want the money for? None of your damn business, okay? They painted him. He looks much better. His eyes are more prominent right now. And then you've got the tiger over here too, which they cleaned up too. So again, it's the little things I show you guys. Remember that. So anyways, what do you guys think about all this stuff? Do you guys want to have Facebook Bank, Google Bank, Apple Bank? Okay, it's coming. You're going to have more credit cards, guys, with these. I looked at having a private label credit card. The money that you can make from this is staggering. There are companies out there. I want to say there's a plus size clothing store for women, and they have no customers. One of the women that were working there were talking about how this was on TikTok. She was talking about how she worked there and they had 2 customers in one day, and then a third customer came in and returned something. She says, this place makes no money. They make a fortune on their credit cards. That's what they're all about. So imagine that. Imagine running your business that way. But that's what Apple wants to get into. That's what all these guys want to get into. The other thing is healthcare. You know, Walmart's got a lab here in Southern California where you can go to Walmart Labs, and they're working on different healthcare areas. They reached out to me prior to the health crisis, and we were going to have a mixer there. We were going to have an event there because I had a mixer in San Diego that had a larger crowd than Walmart Labs did, and they were kind of upset about it. And people left that because let's go to Dan's event because he's got more food. But if you don't think that this is coming back and that Walmart's going to be in your healthcare, and Apple and Facebook and Mark and all these other people, you guys are kidding yourselves, okay? So let's continue. Just a quick video today, and I'm gonna finish it with these last few stories here. And that is that ADP, which is a joke, an absolute joke. This is a farce, it's ridiculous. I don't know how to make this more clear. They issued their payroll report, okay? Saying that in March, we added 455,000 jobs in March, and that we added 1.5 million jobs in the first quarter of 2022. It's the most stellar year for employment in the history of the United States of America. Good for you. Everybody's working, everybody's got money, and you've got stacks of cash. Buy a ticket to the game and donate it to a good cause. Ridiculous, okay? Now the next thing, inflation is rampant and run out of control. I love stories like this that people send me. Somebody sent me this from Canada. Dollarama, which is a huge dollar store in Canada, Montreal-based, massive, okay? And again, just a big store like the 99-cent store here is in the States. They just changed everything to $5 or less. So it's $5 okay? They're not gonna change the name, it's still gonna be Dollarama, but it's $5, guys, okay? So that is crazy, guys, that it's happening. And inflation is at 7.9%, and you know, you're not paying too much for gas. It's the right price, okay? I was driving down the street and saw a gas station today that was under $6, and I immediately pulled over and bought gas like I won something today. So that's insane. The stuff you guys are sending me is lunacy, guys. It's absolutely crazy with the gas prices around the country. And I know people that are paying $4 and they are freaking out, okay? So there's that. Final story is eating healthy fats, especially for women. This is a major cool stat that I got today that was sent to me by Lisa. And that is, if you eat 2 of the healthy fats a week, you can eliminate and lower your heart disease risk by 21%. It also helps with cancer risk too. So eat avocados, guys. You know, eat things like this and it will help you. Again, look at what you put in your body. As I, try to lose weight and I do things for myself, I've got to get more cardio in, so because I get winded still from what I got hit with last summer. So please do not forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I hope you guys like this place. It's just really peaceful and really cool. And I'm telling you guys, I could spend absolute hours up here walking through this place. So please take a look at the tickets for the Angel game. If you don't want to attend, $55. The money goes to Fran and her great organization. And they're going to sell out. So reach out because I only bought so many tickets. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Please, we've got the email list. You're going to get an email on Friday from me. I just talked about that. And the Rotary Club sponsored this bench, so I'm going to partake in the bench. What else? Patreon. If you guys want more access to me, there's the Patreon channel. Onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon, and I will see you very soon. I think I said that twice.